Please join your hands in welcoming His Eminence Chokyong Palga Rinpoche.
In the future, nobody knows what you will achieve, how much you will achieve. The sky is limitless. There is no limit to what you can achieve. But whatever you do in your life, visualization can be a very powerful tool. I grew up in a very poor family. I wanted to see the other extreme of poverty. I wanted to be very rich. Once every blue moon, when my parents and we used to come for holidays in Chandigarh, I used to see the big hotels, Taj, Hyatt. And I used to wonder what kind of people live there. I used to see the big Mercedes, BMWs, all these nice fancy cars. And I used to wonder, how would it feel to ride in one of those? And I visualized myself. I told myself, by the time I'm 28, I'm going to have a V8 engine car. And I did. I visualized it, and I think it materialized gradually with good karma, with good behavior. And I got a Maserati. I was 28. I had a Maserati. I had a Mini Cooper. I had a Fiat Abarth. I had Hummer H3. I had a Porsche Cayenne. I had a Range Rover Vogue. I had a BMW M6 V12. I had crazy amount of cars. That was a part of my visualization. I visualized myself as a money-rich person and in that setting. And I managed to accomplish it. Obviously, after that, I got a bit disillusioned with that lifestyle. I sold everything. I donated everything to my monastery, to charity. I came back to India. Ever since then, I'm in Ladakh. The mind is this very amazing phenomenon. No one has seen it, but yet everybody feels it. Who is this thinker? Have you ever flown a kite? We look at the kite, but have you ever looked at the looker? We think, but have you ever thought who is the thinker? Is it the brain? No. Is it the heart? No. Is it your finger? Is it your arms? What is this mysterious force that we call the mind? When the mind is happy, everything is so beautiful, no? Let's say a young couple, the power of the mind, sending letters every day, WhatsApp messages. So, baad mein, when the girl says, I love you too, yeah, she accepts. Na acha lagta hai na? You feel like you're floating. But hua kya hai? Are you floating? No. But the power of the mind, you feel elevated, the way you walk, the way you move. इतना अच्छा लगता है ना. बारिश है कोई बात नहीं, बादल गरज रहे कोई बात नहीं, खाने को सूखी चावल है कोई बात नहीं. I'm in love. Never underestimate the power of the mind. जब गुस्सा आता है, the physical manifestation कान लाल हो जाते हैं. When the mind is not rested, when the mind behaves like a mad elephant, it destroys an entire village.
Could you share a little bit to them about before the richness in terms of monetary that came in? A little bit about the struggle that happened in England.
The dark days.
Dark days.
So basically, Ladakh का एक गरीब बंदा हिमाचल गया, and Ladakh and Himachal both surrounded by beautiful mountains. Okay, in one way, it's a sanctuary. Another way, it's a jail. I used to think, how is the world behind these mountains? Because of my keen interest in computer, somebody told me there's this English person in my village in Himachal, Rivalsar, okay? It's near Mandi. And he said, he's a computer programmer. He would like to meet you. He must have heard about me. There's this young Rinpoche. He is this reincarnation, but he has this keen interest in technology. So we met. We became good friends. He said to me in his English voice, mate, would you like to come down to England? I said, yes, I would like to come down to England. So I went to England. It was in 2004. So I was in England with him for 6 months. I'd never been outside. I'd only been to Delhi. That's it. 6 months I was well taken care of. But it was very depressing because of the change of culture. Then my host told me, Gary told me, you have always been provided for. Yeah, being a Rinpoche. So he said, like, you should learn the value of money, of living by yourself, paying rent, and so on. So I said, what should I do? He said, like, go get a job. I wanted an Xbox. He said, no, I'm not going to buy you. You should earn it for yourself. How do I earn it? He said, you work for it. So I went to a pub and I worked as a chef's assistant. I learned how to chop vegetables. I learned how to clean dishes and so on. After 6 months, my host told me, you have to go back to India because your 6 months ka visa khatam ho chuka hai. And I told him, I'm not ready to go back. Then he said to me, you will not be my responsibility. You have to go. I have to drop you to the airport as per home office rules. Otherwise, he'll be liable. So I said, okay, you drop me to the airport. I had 20 pounds in my pocket. He dropped me to the airport. I came back on the bus. I didn't catch my flight. Yeah, I lived illegally in England for 1.5 years. Ab kahan jaun? I didn't know anyone. So I came to the park And I slept on the bench for a few days. I had a guitar that I wanted to practice. I had a book by Jimi Hendrix, Learn How to Play Guitar by Jimi Hendrix, something like that. So I was playing, learning to play, living in the park. People thought I was a bhikhari. They would put some coins, on my bag. And I really suffered. But then a friend of mine, Malaysian girl, she helped me. She took me to her house. And then I managed to get a job and then managed to find a very simple place to live. And then after some time, one of the chefs was a little bit rude to me. I was always late. Actually, it's my fault. They kicked me out. And I was so angry. And I couldn't find a job. And I became depressed. I was in my bed on my air mattress for 3 solid months. I just had like 40 pounds, I think. I lived on instant noodles. I lived on bread. Maida ka bread. Koi wo whole wheat वगैरह कुछ नहीं है. I lived on dip tea bags for 3 solid months. I lost so much weight. When I used to get up to go to the washroom, I would feel dizzy. By the time I reached my door, I remember watching the entire season, 10 seasons of Friends. I'll be there for you, on the television. I watched the 2005 final, Champions League final between Liverpool and AC Milan, played in Istanbul, when Liverpool was losing 3-0, but then they won afterwards on penalties. Yeah, I remember that. I went through so much struggle. I didn't know. I saw only darkness. I didn't know how to come out of it. So not only when I was very young, I saw depression, but also when I was a teenager, I saw depression. How did I come out of it? It was no miracle. I had a friend, African Ghanaian friend, Steve. He used to live next door. He took pity on me and he said, get up. It's enough. So we went out. It had just rained. It was this beautiful evening, I remember. And we played football barefoot. It felt so good. I felt so alive to kick the ball, to feel the cool water and the grass on my feet. Then he said, let's go together. He will treat me to a burger. So we went to a pub. And on the wall, it was written, help needed. So again, I got back to my feet. So that's the story of,
Then Guruji, in 2008, you entered penance. 3 years, 3 months, you went into solitary penance. Could you share a little bit about that journey? Because, today we find it very difficult to even meditate for a minute. And you were therein for 3 years and 3 months. A little bit about that journey.
So when I came back, I attended lots of teachings from my gurus. Yeah. I was a bit fed up of the Western lifestyle. I wanted to get back to my roots. After receiving some teachings, like Nasirji said, it was around 2008. I don't have the exact date. I don't remember. It was around 2007-8. I entered a retreat for 3 years and 3 months in Darjeeling. In that practice, Nasirji, what happens is you're in a small room, maybe 10 by 10 feet, roughly. And my room was even didn't have proper walls. It was made of plywood because I didn't have much money.
Right.
Floor was all rotten wood. So whenever you walked, it would creak. On the adjacent room was my meditation master, a Guruji, a senior monk. Between us was this very thin plywood. Plywood, I just mean plywood. Nothing. You would knock, you could literally shake the whole wall. Top mein sheet tha. And in Darjeeling, it rains a lot. It's a very wet season. Wet climate. So I was there for 3 years and 3 months. We sit in a room. Obviously, I didn't have the luxury to switch off the light. But you close your eyes. So that's like switching off the lights. And then we meditate. From morning 5 in the morning until maybe 8 in the night. We meditate every single day. For 3 years and 3 months solid. There is no going outside. Only to speak to the meditation master. If you have some questions. He will give you certain practices to do. So he will tell you 3 months, you do this. Okay? So after 3 months, you see him again. And he say, you finished it? Yes. He will look at you. He will feel you. Then he will say, okay, this mantra, chant it and visualize this deity for 3 months. So on and so forth. So like different practices we do, breathing, yeah, we do visualization, we do mantra chanting, we do simple sitting meditation. The ultimate aim is to achieve enlightenment within 3 years and 3 months. Because according to Buddhist philosophy, the cycle of breaths, inhalation and exhalation, the amount of breaths we take within 3 years and 3 months is sufficient to achieve enlightenment. Yeah. So that is a basic idea. Obviously, you don't achieve enlightenment 3 years and 3 months. I'm still not even minutely enlightened. Yeah.
That's your humility.
No. But really, it was a very transformative experience, Nasir. I learned to be with myself. I learned about myself at a very spiritual level, not only as a human being, not only as the 8th Palga Rinpoche, whatever, not only as this man, who likes Gadhar and who likes Xbox and, who likes to go to the West, Chacha Chaudhary and so on. No, but I saw myself spiritually, not only of this life, but of all my past lives. I managed to reconnect to this profound nature, if I may say so, that is obscured by temporal defilements and the illusion of samsara.
You spoke about money earlier. Money normally people associate it to be not good, right? What are your thoughts on money?
Growing up, I was very poor. My mother had eloped with my father, or my father had eloped with my mother. I don't know. Aapko puchna padega. My mother usually blames my father for that, and vice versa. So I grew up really poor because they were cut from the inheritance and family relations. We grew up really poor. Of course, they always provided for me and my sister. I just have a younger sister. Right now, she's doing her PhD from GNU, Delhi. And also the monastery was also not very rich. So I didn't see too much wealth because all my followers, all the 7 reincarnations of the previous Palga Rinpoches were born in Tibet. I'm the only one born in India, born in Ladakh. Yeah, after Tibet lost its independence thanks to the Chinese. Okay. So I thought maybe I would be born in the land of the Buddha. Yeah, in a free country, in a democratic country. So maybe, I don't know, I made a prayer when I was dying and I was born in India. But the thing was that all my followers were in Tibet. We had a few followers in India. So we didn't have much money. So I grew up poor. And like I said, I always imagined being rich, living in those big hotels, eating those fancy foods, traveling in those beautiful cars. But then also, I think at some point, I had this very negative idea about money. I thought money was evil. Yeah, I didn't have any. So I thought I might just paint it black. So I said, money is bad. Money is not good. You should not think about money. You should be pure, blah, blah, blah. I was acting, too strict towards money. So then afterwards, I remember when I wanted to go to my retreat, when I wanted to finish my Buddhist philosophical studies for 5 years, of course, I need to eat, right? I need to wear clothes. Who will support me for 3 years and 3 months in my retreat? I would need somebody to keep supporting me with money and so on. I have a godmother, I still do. Right now, she's 73 years old, a beautiful American lady. She has white hair. Thank you. She looks absolutely like an angel. I call her my American mother. And she used to support me with some money during my retreats. And she told me, Rinpoche, money is neither good nor bad. And she said, money is potential. Look at money as potential. That's it. Kuch mat socho. Think of money as potential shamta. Either you can do good with it or you can do bad with it. Yeah, you can construct a beautiful institute like this where you can prepare the next, billionaire, the next brilliant mind of India, not only for India, but for the rest of the world. Yeah, we've become this export business of educated minds, which we should be proud of. So we can build something beautiful like this, or you can use it to destroy societies, making bombs, I don't know, create divisions and so on, yeah? So she said money is potential. And that's how I see it now. I don't see money as evil or good. I see money as potential. Money is necessary. Money is the force that actually these days makes the world go round. I think tomorrow if money stopped, just like how it stopped during COVID, the whole world stopped. Everything stopped, right? From the production of microcomputers, microchips, the shortage of which is still evident today. अगर आप कोई गाड़ी लेना चाहते हो, there's still a waiting limit. There's a waiting period of 6-7 months. Why? Not because गाड़ियाँ नहीं है, गाड़ियाँ तो है, लेकिन उसका जो दिमाग है, microcomputer जो chip जो है, that production had halted because of COVID, because money was not running through. So money literally makes the world go round. So I see money as neither good nor bad. I gave up my wealth not because I saw money as evil, don't get me wrong, please, but because it was not the lifestyle I wanted to live. Simple as that. I was getting attached to my wealth. I was getting attached to my Gucci Armani. I was getting attached to my Maserati. I was getting attached to my diamond studs. I was getting attached to my Monaco watch. It had become my ego, and I was getting consumed by it. And I felt miserable. That is why I gave it up. But now, I don't know, I'm not rich at all. But I do have some meager means. I do have a phone. I do have a watch. I do have sunglasses. The difference is that I'm not attached to them now. I know that they are impermanent. Yeah? Why? Because they are compounded phenomena. Repeat after me. Compounded phenomena. जोड़ के बनाया हुआ चीज. This assembly is also compounded phenomena. This assemblage is compounded phenomena. एक एक आदमी को जोड़ करके this meeting is happening. एक बंदा भी compounded phenomena. धन दौलत भी compounded phenomena. ये घर भी, this building भी, brick by brick, molecule by molecule, मिट्टी by मिट्टी, compounded phenomena. So all compounded phenomena are impermanent. Once you understand that, you lose your attachment. You see it for what it is, and it doesn't own you. You own them. But right now, our wealth, our materials, our possessions own us, possess us, whereas it should be the opposite way.
Just moving from there, Guruji, to materialism. What are your thoughts on, materialism, from the fact that, we don't get attached to it, but how do we kind of live with that? Because it's become a very material world today.
That brings me to the question of why we accumulate materials. Why? हम सामान क्यों इकट्ठा करते हैं? Because we want to be happy. Right? हम happiness ढूंढते हैं एक ग्रुप में, एक पार्टी में, शॉपिंग में, हाथ, like watches, shoes, money, cars, clothes. We are looking for happiness in those things. Spending time with my friends and family makes me happy, which is all well and good. But should it be the sole source of your happiness? Ask yourself. You shouldn't, because you will become dependent on, again, compounded phenomena.
Guruji, fitness is something which is a passion for you. And, considering the fact that, you're a spiritual guru, you're a spiritual leader, normally you wouldn't associate fitness with somebody like you. How? Why?
I remember going to Portugal. I wanted to go to the beach. Obviously, I cannot go to the beach like this. Yeah. So it scared the hell out of everybody. Maybe in India, it might be acceptable. I went to Juhu 2 months ago, night walk with some friends. It was lovely. There were people there, but they did this. Accepted in India, but not in Portugal, for God's sake. So you have to dress according to the place. So I went to H&M to buy some shorts, buy some t-shirts. So I remember I was in the changing room. Changing room में क्या होता है कि चारों तरफ glass होते हैं ना. I shut the door. I stripped down to my underwear. I was trying some shorts. I dropped my t-shirt. ठीक है? ऐसे किया. मैंने देखो एक कुछ निकल के आ रहा था. Something literally just came down. It was my belly. I was like, what the hell is this? Really? My belly had come down to my knees. And I looked in the mirror. I was like, who is this guy? Because I was always very slim. And I thought, this is not healthy. So I have to change my lifestyle. The body is the only thing that I have from birth till death. This is the only thing that I truly possess, that I truly own, that I carry with me, that I present to people. Yeah? So I thought I have to take care of it. Then I started to eat healthier. I went to a gym. I paid some trainers. They taught me all the principles of working out, eating well, and so on. So I've been working out on and off since 2012-ish. My philosophy, why I continue to work out, even though I've lost my, the extra belly and extra weight, is that I have become a proponent of total well-being. I don't only believe in the spiritual and the mental well-being, but I also believe in the physical well-being. Because your bodies, after all, are the vessels of our minds. If the vessel has some cracks, if the vessel is impure, if the vessel has some faults, the mind also suffers. The quality of life suffers, Asif ji. उठना बैठना, चलना, दौड़ना, कुछ सामान लेना, you know what I mean? थोड़ा सा भी वजन उठाना आपसे होता नहीं है. छोटे छोटी चीजों पर you get injuries. ये हो गया, वो हो गया. This you can all prevent. Then the medical bills, for crying out loud. We spend so much money not taking care of our body, eating whatever we want, spending money to eat, and I mean just literally destroy our body. And then afterwards we spend even more money going to the experts, doctors, getting injection, getting surgeries, this and that, getting expensive treatments. I just don't understand. Just take care of your body. Done. Na rahegi bounce. Na bajegi bounce. Sorry. So I haven't seen a doctor for on COVID ke time mein, I had to see a doctor because I almost died. Okay? So I have to put up my hand and I said, last time I saw a doctor was during COVID. I had COVID and I went to see a doctor. That's it. Otherwise, I never see a doctor. I eat healthy, I live healthy, I work out every day at least 2 hours. I have a very strict regimen of high intensity interval training based on the Tabata protocol, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. I do lots of weight training, weightlifting. Basically, that's it. And very clean eating, as much as I can. Except when Nasir ji happily feeds me. Yeah, I will just put it like, this is his love, that's different. ठीक है, तो पुणे में सब कुछ माफ है, बट कल के बाद फिर वही उबला, वही घोड़े का चना, वो सब फिर से resume. No, I don't eat that strictly, but I eat a very balanced diet. Yeah, so that's my philosophy. Total well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being, spiritual well-being.
Guruji, we spoke about the trifecta, and I thought it's very important. There's a lot of time, we everybody talks about a couple of elements of the trifecta. They don't actually talk about the third. Could you share your thoughts on the trifecta?
Has anyone been to Ladakh? You will find 3 stupas. Stupas represent the Buddha's mind. Okay? The statue of the Buddha obviously represents his body. The scriptures represents his speech. But the stupas, these monuments, these beautiful, peaceful monuments, represent the Buddha's minds, enlightenment itself, in a physical form, in a monument form. And there are 3 stupas, which you will find almost everywhere, Nasirji. In the center, there is white. To the right, there is yellow. And to the left, there is blue. So it is a very Buddhist principle that you mentioned right now. This trifecta. White is represented by Bhagwan Avalokiteshwar. Avalokiteshwar, representing compassion. White, compassion. Yeah, love, compassion. Yellow is represented by Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of wisdom. He has a blazing sword in his hand to cut through our ignorance. He has a pitaka, a scripture in his hand to give us the knowledge. After cutting your ignorance, he will replace it with knowledge. Manjushri, orange in color. Aapki buddhi. Aapka dil, aapki buddhi. Now the third trifecta, the blue one, Vajrapani, power. Representing the power of the Buddhas. Representing power itself. So I have seen them since childhood. Never really understood the significance of them and how to apply them in our day-to-day life. How is it applicable? Kahan wo, kahan hum? Hai na? It's a stupa. How can you apply stupa into your life? Then I thought, aren't they metaphors for our mind, for our brains, our thinking capacity, our intelligence, whatever you want to call it? And aren't they metaphors for our hearts? And aren't they metaphors for power? So I thought, maybe Manjushri means that whatever you do in your life, you use your intelligence, you use your brain, you use your mind to analyze things properly. Yeah? Kya hai, kaise hai? You see things clearly for what they are, how they are, and then Avalokiteshwar represents your heart, your compassion, your karuna, your love. To say, I forgive you. To be able to forgive, to be able to love, to be able to let go. Then I thought, doesn't Vajrapani, the power, represent saying no? Jab zarurat pade. No. To be assertive. to follow your dreams with such a sense of power, to say no when necessary and to say yes when necessary, and to have this element of power. तो मैंने पाया कि जब इन तीनों में से एक भी थोड़ा out of balance हो जाता है, usually your quality of life suffers, whether it's in business, in studies, or also in spirituality. So have the brains, the intelligence to see how things are clearly. सर ने बात की थी एजुकेशन के बारे में. एजुकेशन तो आजकल थोड़ा बहुत सबके पास होता ही है. फोन तो सब अपने जेब में लेके घूमते ही है. Now thanks to all this chat GPT and AI, everything has become even more shortcut. No. But to have the wisdom, you cannot chat GPT wisdom. You cannot chat GPT converting a van into a passenger vehicle and also a transport vehicle. That takes wisdom, no? So to have the wisdom to understand how things are, how it is, whatever situation, to have the heart to love, to forgive, to let go, to be compassionate, and then the power to say sometimes no to certain people who may be trying to take advantage of you, who may be trying to take you for a ride, or sometimes in order to, for the greater good, to say, to be slightly stronger towards someone. That's what I think the trifecta. Wisdom, compassion and power. पिछले साल दिल्ली हंसराज कॉलेज, ठीक है, हंसराज कॉलेज, lovely gathering like this. So I talked about happiness, this and that, meditation. उसके बाद we had some Q&A. So one student asked and he said, Guruji, आपको किस चीज से डर लगता है? What are you afraid of? Maybe, well, death. I'm not really scared of death. Why? Because I think I've accumulated enough good karma in this life कि अगले जन्म जहाँ पर भी मैं पैदा होऊंगा, it'll be a good life. Close to God, reborn as a good human being. I don't know, but I know कि I have confidence कि मैंने इतना तो कुछ meditation किया, अच्छे कर्म किए. I'm not scared of death. I really am not. COVID also took that away from my mind. Then I thought, falling sick, becoming poor, these are like part of life. Poor तो मैं पहले से था ही. I became rich. I saw all the ups and downs. So there's nothing in particular that I'm actually scared of. Then he said, नहीं, आपको एक चीज तो आप बताइए जिससे आपको डर लगता है. In that moment, I said, I'm scared to waste my time. That's the one thing I'm afraid of. I'm afraid to waste my time.
Last thing, a few tips to them that you would like to tell them that can help them in their life ahead.
Visualize yourself in a position. सोचो अपने आप को आंख बंद करके imagine yourself sitting on a desk at a very successful multinational company making billions and billions and billions of dollars. Imagine yourself like that and work towards that. आपको जो कुछ भी आपका ड्रीम है, चाहे starting from small or trying to start big, whatever it is, कहीं भी हो, कोई भी position हो, always visualize yourself at a position, and the power of visualization is so strong that things will start to manifest. But simply sowing the seed of visualization is not enough. You have to put the water of perseverance. You have to pour the water of diligence, of patience, of hard work, and most importantly, compassion. You're studying together. No. कोई यहाँ पर अकेले तो पढ़ने नहीं आया ना. How can you succeed? How can you thrive in your class if you're the only student? Thank the other person. Thank the other students because of your competitive nature, because of your achievements yesterday, the month before, in that test, in that whatever, they've raised the bar. So you're dependent on each other for excellence. Yeah? Drive each other with good competition, with good drive towards a good goal. But be compassionate along the way, because not everybody has the mental faculty to remember everything. Not everybody has the same level of perseverance that everybody has. Some people might be lagging behind, but they also have dreams. So be compassionate. Don't tease other people. Don't bully people. Yeah? Just be kind to each other. Aspire, but also work towards. Dream, visualize, but also work towards. ठीक है? मेहनत करो यार. Whoever have invested in you, have dreamt on your behalf, give them something. Don't be a failure. Don't keep circling, in the same spot. चक्की का जो व्हील होता है उसकी तरह नहीं. गाड़ी का जो व्हील है खड़ा होके यहाँ से वहां जाना आपको. ठीक है? चक्की के व्हील की तरह पिसते मत रहो. खड़े हो, मेरे भाई, मेरी बहन. ठीक है? and then go from this place to that place. आपको वो 10-15 साल अच्छे काम करने हैं, ना केवल अपने लिए लेकिन अपने समाज के लिए, अपने परिवार के लिए और अपने देश के लिए.
Lama Sangya Chiskis Kulash Kapsu Cheo Ma